You're watching Local 33 News today.
And welcome back, everybody. Following historic flooding back in August, many of our local residents throughout the greater Baton Rouge area continue to rebuild their homes. And joining me now is Mr. Sean King, a third-generation home improvement expert. He's also authored a book, The Ultimate Guide to Hiring the Right Contractor. Sean, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chad. Great to see you.
Great to see you. Thank you for your time. Sean travels the country spreading some good news and some good messages and information. But let me ask you this. With our current local situation, what's so challenging about rebuilding homes that have flooded in this process?
Well, one of the major issues, Chad, is the lack of funding.
Yeah.
The governmental relief has fallen way short of where it needs to be to bring the community back to whole. And unfortunately, less than 15% of local residents even had flood insurance prior to this catastrophic event. And when you add to that the inability of the contractors to be able to properly handle this massive increase in workload all at once, well, it isn't pretty.
There's only so many contractors in the area, so many homes that still need to be tended to. What are some of the biggest mistakes people make, Sean, when hiring a contractor, or at least initially setting terms?
Sure. The number one mistake that we see is not pre-screening your contractor. As soon as you get their contact information, you need to jump online and check them out at review sites such as Google, the BBB, Angie's List, and Yelp, paying special attention to how they handle and resolve any complaints that they make. Mistake number two, you need to get a written on-time finish guarantee.
Get it in writing.
You need it in writing. A written on-time finish guarantee is going to let you know exactly how long the project's going to take to complete before it's even started. Because we've all heard the horror stories where your contractor says, don't worry about it, kitchen will be done in 2-3 weeks tops. And then it's 5 months later. Your kitchen's still not done. And you're outside washing your dishes with a garden hose. That's a true story. Mistake number three. You can't ever get ahead of your payment schedule.
Yeah.
You and your contractor need to establish a specific payment schedule, but you need to stick to it. Because as soon as you get ahead on payments with your contractor, all bets are off. You've now lost any control or leverage that you may have had, and your contractor's not going to determine when or even if your project gets completed.
If a local resident's feeling that a contractor's taking advantage of them, what would you recommend they do if they feel like maybe they started some work, but then they haven't seen them the last month or so?
Unfortunately, when there's a catastrophe like this, it's very common, Chad. You get a lot of companies that come in from out of state. The best place to start is by reaching out to the Louisiana State Contractors Board. Explain to them exactly what's going on and forward any paperwork that you may have. They'll then determine whether or not your contractor is properly licensed and insured to do business here in the state of Louisiana. And if they are, the board will intervene on your behalf, and the results are typically favorable. If, however, they find that your contractor is not properly licensed and insured to do business in Louisiana, the good news is your contract with them is going to be null and void, so you won't owe them any additional money. The bad news, however, is you're probably never going to see a dime of the money you've already given them. They're going to crawl back underneath whatever rock they came out from under, and then the chase is on.
We'll get to the book you authored in just a second, but first, the acronym RIGHT, R-I-G-H-T, is something you use as a foundation for this process.
Correct. I've developed the right way to hire the right contractor right here in Baton Rouge. R, referral. Best place to start your contractor search is with a referral from someone that you know and trust. I, investigate. Once you get those referrals, it's up to you to investigate the contractor, not just on review sites, but check with some of their previous customers, confirming that they love the process, they love the finished product, and that they would definitely hire the contractor again. G, you mentioned it, get it in writing. You need an extremely detailed contract so both you and your contractor know exactly what is to be expected and exactly what you're paying for. H, have a voice, but you need to use it. At the first sign that your project isn't going exactly according to plan, you need to speak up, let your contractor know your concerns, that they need to address them immediately. Because sitting quietly by, hoping everything's going to work itself out in the end, is not a plan.
Right.
And T, trust your gut. When you're sitting across the table from that contract, if your gut says, something doesn't seem right about this guy, or I'm not sure he's the right fit for my project, do not hire him. There are several hundred contractors currently working in the Baton Rouge area. Just move on to the next candidate.
Sean, we're running short on time, but quickly tell us about your book.
Sure.
And you have a special offer for some local viewers here.
I do. I wrote my book to try and help as many people as I possibly can. So what I'm going to do in this case, due to your catastrophe that you're trying to dig out from under here in Baton Rouge, I've set up for 100 absolutely free copies of my best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Hiring the Right Contractor, to be delivered directly here to the studio. Your viewers can reach out to Chad via email.
They can.
And then they can get a free copy. And just so you know, Chad, if you run out of those 100, give me a buzz. I'll send another 100 to you. Couldn't be any easier than that.
Sean, thank you so much.
Absolutely,
we do
Chad.
appreciate
Thank you for your
that.
time.
And Baton Rouge appreciates that. Just email me, csabadie, S-A-B-A-D-I-E, @vrproud.com. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for having me.
We'll have more Local 33 today after the break.